Hey everybody, it's Marianne Bailey with OnlineTechLessons.com and the Hip Senior. Today, I want to show you how to find a podcast in Spotify. Now, there's lots of ways of finding podcasts, and Spotify is just one of the websites slash apps out there. We'll go over some others, but for this purpose right now, today, we are going to use Spotify. Now, I am using a Windows-based PC. You may be on an Apple computer or using an app, and the same thoughts and processes kind of go along with that. If you want me to show you how to do it like on a smartphone, shoot me a message, leave a comment. I'll be glad to use a smartphone to record one as well. Just let me know which you need it to be on. But for now, I went to Spotify.com using Chrome on my Windows PC. And this is the window that shows up for me. Now, if you've never used Spotify, you may want to go ahead and create an account. And once you do that, it's going to ask you, what are your interests? What type of podcasts would you be interested in listening to? What type of music? What kind of audiobooks? It's going to ask you some preliminary questions that you're going to want to answer truthfully because it's going to start recommending some podcasts and some music and stuff based on those questions and answers. Now, once you do that, you can go in and start looking for things that you're interested in. Are you interested in murder? Are you interested in bicycling? Are you interested in animals? Are you interested in travel? You name it. You can see from my screen where I'm coming up with some of these ideas. And if those ideas kind of aren't on the screen in front of you already because of the questions that you answered, go ahead over here to the left side and hit search. Once you hit search, you can search for different things that you're looking for. You can either type in what you're looking for up in this white box in the left-hand corner up here, or you can scroll down until you see what it is that you're looking for. Are you looking maybe for some sleepy time music or some romance music or stuff like that? Different events that are going on, stuff like that. But for this purpose, we're searching for podcasts. So we're going to browse all podcasts if we wanted to go that route. When you go in that direction, it's going to give you some editors' picks. It's going to give you just some different ideas and then different categories. Are you looking for true crime, news, politics? Are you looking for video podcasts? Those are a thing. Arts and entertainments or stories. What are you looking for? You may be specific in what you're looking for, but you can always come here and kind of get ideas of, oh, I had no idea that I like true crime, but these stories are kind of cool, or different stuff like that. What if you're a cat owner and you're looking for animal care? Maybe you have multiple types of animals. By all means, hit the back button and go ahead, see where it says search here. Now, what do you want to listen to? Just say, oh, I want to listen to a cat podcast. Okay, we're going to click that. We're going to make sure that up here, these highlights right here, we're going to make sure that it's clicked on podcasts and shows. At that point, you can find all these different things that are related to cats, all about cats and your well-being. Let's click on that. Okay. So now we're looking at this one specific podcast. See all episodes. Okay. So when we did that, that sort of showed us all the episodes that they've recorded within this podcast. It looks like there's maybe 5 or 6 of them. Okay. So if that interests us, but the last one that they did was July of 2020, and the first one they did was in July of 2020. That shows me that this probably isn't the best podcast for you to invest your time in. Sorry if you're the creator of this, but it looks like this was created during the shutdown in the middle of the pandemic and they lost interest in doing it. I don't know what their whole story is, but we're going to hit back. We're going to hit back again, and we're going to go back in here and find another one maybe that we like. So let's go to Cat 101. Understand your cat and their basic needs. Okay, maybe that would be interesting. So we're going to click on see all episodes, and we're going to scroll down. And the last one was October 19th. That's a little more realistic. It's more recent. And you can see that they have several podcasts going on, dated back towards the beginning of the year at least. Haven't gone very far, but they've got more than the 5 or 6 that previous one has. So here's what you do. So we're looking at this podcast and you're like, oh, I might be interested in this. You can go down and listen to one podcast at a time by hitting this play here at this one episode. We could share this with somebody. That's what this square box with this arrow pointing up means. We could click on here, and when we do that, it will copy that link to our browser, and we can go into our email or Facebook Messenger or however you communicate with people and share and paste that. Right click and say paste and paste that to somebody. Or we could click here and save this one episode to our library if we wanted to listen to it later. Okay. This plus here only does this one episode. But if you listen to a few and you say, I really like this podcast, I would like to know when more are being issued, then what you do is you just scroll up, and here where it says follow, click that. What does that do? That adds it to your library over here. Okay, here you can start listening to the whole podcast by hitting this arrow as well. But because we followed it, now the next time we are in Spotify, right? We start up Spotify and here's our home page for it. If you go over here and click on your library, now it's going to show you by clicking on podcast up here. It's going to show you that you added this cat podcast to your library, and now you can easily find it. Simply click on it, and now you can go listen to more episodes again. How cool is that? But the library is really essential because you can see like all the different ones that I've added to my library to listen to. For instance, Mel Robbins. If you don't know who Mel Robbins is, you really need to learn, because she is this motivational speaker. She tells things how it is. She doesn't filter things. She's going through things in her own life that she talks about, which I relate to. And she's just very inspiring. So she just started this podcast. You're only going to see about 6 episodes of hers, but they're really recent. You can see that one is dated October 6th, which is the first one she did. So that's why there's only a few of her. She literally just started it this month. She's doing 2 a week. And I hope that listening to her would be enlightening for many of you to listen to. And I strongly encourage you to go do it. Now, here's the deal. So you can see that let's back up for a minute. You can see that I'm following her. And so when I click on your library and go to podcast, there she is. I could also search Spotify for things like audiobooks, or I could search for by the artist and by different albums as well. These are within my library, but I could hit search here and go up and say, oh, I want to listen to, I don't know, James Dean. Is he a musician? James Dean. I don't know who James Dean is. For some reason, that name just came to mind. But see, when I search for him, James Dean pops up down here. James Dean, James Dean. Apparently, there's more than one James Dean. But anyway, so when I click on this artist, then I can go in and see all the different albums that this artist has done. And when I click on that, oh, those are songs. And then I just hit pause and I can move on to something else. But when you go down to discography, it shows you different things like movies that he was in and stuff like that. Maybe I do know who James Dean was. Anyway, different and what his different albums were and if he had any singles and EPs. So, for instance, if we did the same thing for let's say Elvis Presley, right? We hit enter, we search for that. That's going to go down here and it's going to show you Elvis Presley. If we click on the artist, it's going to go in here and it's going to show you his popular songs. And then if you went into albums, it'll show you all the different albums that he put out. If you went into singles, it would show you the different songs that he had. And if you click on see all, sometimes people miss this over on the right hand side. If you click on see all under a section, it will show you like different songs stuff. And if you click on this heart when you're in this will save this one song to your library. Okay. So that's kind of how that works. But back to podcasts, like we were talking about, we can click home to get out of something really fast. And if we go into your library, hit podcast, that's where all of my podcasts live. Now, again, people will say maybe podcasts are like the radio. Well, it is. It's kind of like modern day radio, with the exception that we get to choose what we listen to, how we listen to it, why we listen to it, and where we listen to it. Like I said, there's plenty of other places that, other than Spotify, that you can listen to podcasts, and we will go over them. But here you get to choose what kind of podcast you want to listen to and why you want to listen to it. Do you want to listen to cooking podcasts, stuff about travel, stuff about riding a bike, stuff about your pets? You name it, it's on there. Check them out. Radios, they play what they want to play, what the advertisers want them to play when they're going to do this. Now, podcasts, if you can sign up for Spotify and you do the free one, it's going to have commercials. And then sometimes there's commercials within the podcast because a lot of them are sponsored that help pay for these podcasts that keep them free for you by different ones. I know Mel Robbins has sponsors that help pay for her podcast within that. And then that's cool because that helps pay for her time to create the podcast that you enjoy listening to. If you do Spotify for free, you're going to listen to more commercials than the people that pay for premium Spotify. Premium Spotify also has a better listening experience. They put the music out there at a higher level. I forget what that's called, but it's a better listening experience. But if you're on a budget and you just want to listen to it, sign up for the free one. Deal with the commercials. It's perfectly okay. So I hope you give podcast a try. If you like my content, please like this video. Please hit the follow button. Please go search for the Hip Senior podcast. I have a podcast as well. And I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful day. Take care, everybody. And if you need more help, support at onlinetechlessons.com will get a response from me. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.